How about this partnership? MLS and Apple coming 2023. Apple increases its sports connection here because I was watching those games, and I never spoke about this on the show, but I was watching their production of a Blue Jays game because they did Friday Night Baseball. They announced it at their previous keynote, and then there was this one game on, and people started texting me, where do I watch the Jays game tonight? They were angry at me, like as if I had done something. That's a joke. They were angry because they couldn't find it, and they thought I might know how to deal with it. And the truth was, there. You had to basically watch it on a mobile device unless you had an Apple TV. That was kind of how it broke down. And so a lot of people end up watching on their phone. You can't really appreciate it as much if you're used to watching on the TV. But I have an Apple TV, so I was watching the production on my TV, and it was free. And it was their production team, Apple's production team. So not the usual commentators that you'd be used to having, and not the usual production techniques. In other words, the cameras, and all of a sudden they had those Megalodon units, so they're getting really close to the player's handheld. Oh, wow. They were in the batter's box before. It was like a movie, sort of. I don't know that everybody would appreciate it, but my kids, I was explaining to them what's going. They're like, "Damn, it was intimate."
And this is Apple's doing?
Well, that was their production. That was the production of that particular game.
Wow.
And then other things, little tidbits, like for example, percentages and likelihoods in game. So like the batter would be up, and then it would be
live
percentages of his likelihood to hit a base hit, his likelihood to strike out, his likelihood, and statistics show like in percentage base things. So it was so cool to watch.
Yeah, a level of information that like.
But a lot of people were too pissed to begin with because they didn't like the commentary, and also the sound mix with spatial audio with the crowd and stuff. Yes.
Did you try it?
So it's really immersive, is what you're saying.
I thought there were some really cool elements about it. I agreed with the commentary. It's hard, man, to to hire people that don't normally broadcast these teams.
Okay.
You need so I actually, believe it or not, YouTube previously had the rights to some MLB games. And they asked me to go down when they were doing their production from the Rogers Center.
Okay.
And I actually went in the booth and took part in the production. I actually did a little bit of commentary myself. But the problem is it's a traveling production team. Like they go from city to city for each promo. Mm-hmm. And so they're not intimately involved with any one singular team. So they can't really report on it the way that your local broadcaster does. Right. They know everybody intimately. Mm-hmm. They know every statistic. They know every at-bat. They know. So that's the tough part to compensate for. But the other elements of the production were impressive to me, other than the fact that for many people, they didn't get to see it on a big screen and therefore probably couldn't appreciate some of these production improvements. But anyway, leaning into sports seems to be an initiative for Apple. Sports matter to people. It's one of those, from a content perspective. We were talking previously about cricket and how...
With Disney, right?
Who was it who backed out? Amazon backed out. They were talking some nutty numbers.
No. Disney asked for to make a deal with cricket, and cricket said no.
Yeah, no. It was a bidding war. You had Reliance and Disney and Amazon. In India, it was a whole it was a massive
ordeal,
auction sort of, where I don't remember the figure. I don't think Will remembers the figure, but
I think this is
like $1 billion for the rights to these games, maybe more. I don't even remember. It was nutty.
Yeah,
it was nutty what this carried with it. Mm-hmm. But Apple continues to get into the content business, services business. I think recognizing that like there's a lot of money to be made, and the margins are great, and it keeps people in your ecosystem
and retention
more,
because a game is every week, right? With baseball, at least.
They are only doing Friday nights right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm opening up an app, whatever the app is, once a week.
$7.7 billion is the battle for the cricket rights.
Really?
Yeah. IPL media deal, Disney, Sony, and other contenders. June 12th, India auction. June 12th. What's today?
Is this because everybody, like I know Netflix has been really trying to get into the Indian market. Is this just everybody trying to get into the Indian market? Like if you can be the first
Well, it's about all the other business opportunities that come from it. So it's like, particularly Reliance and Amazon, they're competing on everything in India, not just content, where you're going to buy things,
Right.
e-commerce, other subscriptions like Prime and things like that. And so I think there's probably, when they're trying to calculate margin potential, they could say to themselves, well, if we get the cricket and we get people onto our sites and services, we can monetize them in all this variety of ways. Try to turn that 7.7 billion, try to get it back.
Right.
The latest I heard about Bezos, though, is he thought that it was too much, getting too high, that they weren't going to be able to make it back, and was possibly bailing out. Oh, here we go. Somebody says the deal closed 6.2 million yesterday, is what the New York Times said. I presume he means 6.2 billion, because we were talking 7.7.
And who won? Who won? Who got
I
the
assume
deal?
he's talking about cricket and not this MLS deal. Or maybe he's talking about this. No, $6 million ain't getting you nothing. I don't know.
way.
He must have meant billion. Anyway, this is a 10-year deal. MLS and Apple, every MLS and Leagues Cup match. Wow. Every match. One place for everything. No need for traditional pay TV bundle. Fans get every live match by subscribing to the new MLS streaming service, available exclusively through Apple TV. Wow. That's a bigger deal than I thought.
But it's not free, is it?
No. It'll it'll cost you, but you can't get it anywhere else. MLS streaming service, it's not like it's available on Apple TV and elsewhere. You have to have Apple TV to get the MLS streaming service. Otherwise, you're stuck having to figure it out on cable. But if you're a super fan and you want to watch all the games, then you got to go through Apple. It's an interesting deal. Now, oh, by the way, it doesn't mean Apple hardware specifically, just the Apple TV app.
Right.
Which exists also on Amazon Fire TV, Roku devices, and other smart TVs directly built in.